Hi, my name is Laurie Groh, and I'm co-owner at Shoreside Therapies. I specialize in relationships, communication, and transitions. So, one of the things I thought would be really great to talk about today, as it's been coming up a few times in my recent sessions, are the stages of a relationship, which I think is very, very useful when we are trying to figure out what is happening within a relationship. So, a lot of times we do think about relationships, what we see on TV, what we see in movies, and really what we're seeing is just that first stage, the first stage of being passionate, being in love, thinking, I can't, be away from this person. They're amazing. I love everything about them. Literally, I love everything about them, right? So that is that first stage. And, one of the jokes I sometimes make with clients is if we were in that stage for a long period of time, no one would get anything done. We would literally just be in bed all day long with that person. And we need to also work and be with our friends and families. So we do have to move out of that stage eventually. Now, this is just a rough estimate, but usually that stage lasts about a year. Sometimes it can last a little longer and you can sort of go in and out into that next stage, but virtually everybody gets out of that stage. And I think that's so important for people to know and understand that that can't really sustain itself. It's a good thing for bonding and committing and attaching to somebody, but we can't stay in that spot forever. The next stage would be the discovery stage. And so that stage is not always the best stage, right? It's the disillusionment stage where we start to see maybe some things that we're not so fond of. Could be really just about anything. Maybe we think our partner talks too much or not enough, or maybe they're not giving us as many gifts as we would like, or they're not spending as much time with us as we would like. And so that stage tends to be where some conflicts come up. Usually at that point in the relationship, there's a choice to be made. Can you make it through it? Do you want to make it through it? Uh, that can be a really big challenge, but basically, that stage is about determining what you want to do. Do you want to commit or do you not want to commit? Now, if you choose not to commit, it makes a ton of sense to do that at that point because really, when you are picking somebody that you want to spend maybe the rest of your life with or just a long term commitment, you want to be able to figure out is there enough good stuff here for all of the bad stuff that's going to come, right? So that part's very, very important. So the third stage then is the commitment. So this is where a couple decides, let's be together long term. Let's maybe plan a family, let's get married. I mean, there are a lot of different options for commitments, but one of the main things is that you're going to make a decision to be with that person, right? And that they're your partner. Now, there are a lot of different types of relationships, but ultimately, when you're committing to someone, that means that you really want to be with that person and spend time with that person. All of the other stuff can be negotiated, but the main idea is that you're finding a partner, somebody that you want to connect with for the long term. The next stage tends to be power struggles. So it's a little bit of, again, kind of going into the disagreements, figuring some of those things out. Now, this comes up again after commitment because, to be quite honest, committing is scary. You don't know exactly, oh, what did I really get myself into? And so, we also, as humans, like to have power and we like to have autonomy. We like to have control over ourselves and sometimes over other people. But really what happens in the stage is figuring out what the power dynamics are, what you can and can't do, what are some of those boundaries, and then we move into the fifth stage, which is growth and stability. So this is that idea of having a common goal, of looking at what you two want as a couple. This might be a point where you talk about what your life goals are. What do you want to see happen for yourself? Um, the sixth stage would be the romantic love part. Now, you would think the first stage was that, but actually, the stage 6 is where it becomes much more what would be the right word? uh, Enriching, I guess would be the best word I could describe it, where it's not all roses. It's not, this fantasy land. This is the part of the relationship where you see that other person for who they are, um, and you enjoy their strengths and maybe struggle a little bit with their weaknesses, of course, but basically seeing like who I chose to be with, and what are we going to do here now? You can put all your effort into it, or you can disengage and separate and still live in the same house. But typically, what you want in that stage is, that's where the commitment piece comes so in handy, because you can think about it like, okay, this is my life. This is who I chose. They are a wonderful person. I might not like X, Y, and Z. However, there are so many good things here, and I want to cherish them, and I want to respect them, and I want to be with them. And so at that point too, you might notice that you want to actually put a little bit more effort into the relationship. Stage five is, or I'm sorry, stage seven is a stage that actually can come uh, at any point in the relationship. And that's really the crisis and recovery stage. That can be anytime that there's a big transition, anytime that there's a trauma within the relationship or outside of the relationship where you need to repair. So the good news with this is that a lot of times couples are able to repair. And if you're in a space in your relationship where you're not feeling like you're able to repair it on your own, I'm very lucky to say that we have a lot of therapists at Shoreside that can help with that. A lot of therapists that work specifically with couples, which is different than individuals. You really want to have a couples therapist that has experience with couples, because it's a totally different ballgame. So if you are struggling with any of these stages, if you're struggling with a crisis, a trauma, or resentment within your relationship, reach out to us at Shoreside Therapies. Thanks again and have a great day.